Yes. Good 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening, new listeners and current listeners from all around the world. Thank you for tuning into this show today from the USA, areas of Long Island, plus the five boroughs of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your host with the most, G Money Stacks, aka Lonely Nomad, aka The Gregonator, aka Rookie Podcaster of Queens, New York. And you are now tuning in to Off the Meatrack Chainz New York podcast, episode 43. That's right, episode 43. Now, if you're new to the channel and you missed previous episodes, don't worry, I got you. All you got to do is your part by subscribing to the YouTube channel, which is G Money Stacks 555. Please enable alerts so you can be notified and reminded of when the show goes in the air live. Um, more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes. Be sure to leave a like and a comment with the episodes along with the topics, alongside with your thoughts. Also, don't forget to download your favorite episodes that you like the most, and be sure to do some catching up with episodes 1 through 42, including this one, which is going to be posted after the recording on the YouTube channel. 43 will be posted on Monday. 42 will be posted on streaming platforms tomorrow. Just to let you know. And we are live on the YouTube and from the software StreamYard, of course, just to in case nobody don't know about it. Also, let me add this. If you would like to be a guest on the show, whether you are a singer, rapper, a black-owned trendsetter that has a business, radio personality, podcast host that has a show like myself, along with any career fields that are welcome. Of course, if you have a chain letter that you need advice on read on the air, all you have to do is go to Off the Meatrack Chainz NY podcast at gmail.com. That's Off the Meatrack Chainz NY podcast at gmail.com. Or you could DM me whatever your chain letter is about that you need advice on, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Now, mind you, when it comes to a chain letter, you don't necessarily have to put your name unless you have to. You know what I mean? So without further ado, now that I got that out the way, our first segment is going to be chatting on the jazz. Now, this is a segment about the topics that you like and catches your interest each week. Each week, I pick topics as far as the articles and stories that catches my interest, because you want to be in tune to not just what's going on, but you also want some laughter too, which I will try to do. But even though I'm not a comedian, but I'm gonna do my best to relax on this one. So, like I said, without further ado, our first topic has to do with two incidents. One is a slashing, and another one is a stabbing. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is the slashing, which I will get to in a sec. So, listen to this, and this is what happened recently. So, According to the New York Post, this incident happened with a 44-year-old was slashed in the back of the neck by a man wielding a pocket knife on the subway platform in Manhattan, which was recently. Yeah, let me just keep going with this. The incident happened on an L train platform in Union Square. Obvious, one of the obvious places, of course. Um, Around 4 p.m. when the two men got into a verbal dispute, cops said. The man with the knife, who is between 20 and 25 years old, cut the victim in the neck after the fight escalated, according to police. The attacker fled on the L train, and the victim was taken to Bellevue Hospital in stable condition. The knife wielding man was described as a slim build and wearing all black with a neon shirt, cops said. Well, a sanitation worker cleans up blood on the platform after a 45-year-old man was slashed. Man, I hate terrible stories like this, but I gotta do it anyway. It's part of real life, though, and don't worry about the plane, folks. As long as you can hear me, that's what matters. So the blood is seen on the L train platform after a 45-year-old man was slashed in the Union Square. Officers patrol around the L train platform in the scene of a slashing. 45-year-old man was slashed after getting into a dispute with an alleged attacker to police. Oh, okay. Okay, that's crazy. Then we have another incident which has to do with an NYPD officer stabbed in Manhattan. Not again. Yeah, let's keep going. An off-duty cop NYPD officer was stabbed in the head with a pair of scissors in a Manhattan subway station, cops said. A scissor? Really? A scissor? Come on, man. A scissor out of all things? Nah, man. That's terrible. Anyway, the attack happened just after 12 p.m. Tuesday as the officer was pushing through a turnstile at the Union Square stop, police said. The attacker, identified by cops as 42-year-old Benjamin Mazik, asked the officer, "What are you looking at?" before allegedly stabbing him from behind, police said. Mazik took off and tried to hop on the next train, but the injured officer jumped over the turnstile and held the train's door open until backup arrived, police said. Mazik, who cops said had an extensive criminal history in the transit system, was charged with assault and criminal possession of a weapon. The injured officer was treated at a hospital and released. Okay, here's my take on this right here. This guy has to be the stupidest idiot out of all things. Out of all places, Union Square, you want to cause attention to stab someone, and then now you want to talk about slashing somebody. Like, Union Square is like the most obvious places in the fucking New York area for a random person to get stabbed and slashed, which I just find it so stupid. Look, as someone said, of course, like I previously told somebody, actually, it's like, look, just because the statistics say that subway crime is down does not necessarily mean it's going to go down. And I would have to agree with the fact that, no matter how hard you try to stop crime, it's still gonna go up. And all I'm saying is, in order for things to be to be safe for people. All I'm saying is like there's got to be some order. There's got to be security. Otherwise, you're gonna have people that's gonna be more hesitant into taking the subway, and they're gonna start driving, and that's a fact. Right here. And you know what? Speaking of facts, of course you probably heard about Kanye West, who has a jacket. Now, when I saw the picture of the jacket, it was blue, which was probably the only color that they have right now. But the crazy part is the shit had no fucking zipper. Like, how you make a bubble jacket that has no zipper or a button at least to close like your neck, your chest area and your neck? Like, that's crazy to me. And I'm gonna tell you why I would not waste $200 on a fucking jacket like that, because that's just plain ridiculous, man. Like, how do you $200 for a damn jacket? Are you serious? 200? Nah. The same way I'm not wasting $300 on no damn Yeezys, man. And that's just plain ridiculous, man. Like, come on. My question about that is, why does it have to be $200 for a jacket? I could get, if I wanted a jacket so badly, I would actually go to Jamaica Avenue or the Collie Block to get one that's less than $200, which is actually not my forte, which brings up this story about Kanye West. So check this out. So Kanye West's first Yeezy Gap piece is finally here, almost exactly 1 year after announcing his partnership with the retailer. The rapper celebrated his 44th birthday on Tuesday, June 8th, by dropping his first design, a single blue puffer style jacket to be exact, priced at $200. Yeah, right, Kanye. Like, anybody's gonna waste $200 on a damn jacket. You out of your fucking rabbit ass mind for that shit. Dubbed the round jacket and set to ship this fall. The unisex outerwear features no zippers, buttons, or snaps. It's made from recycled nylon. Hold on. Am I reading this right? Rewind. So the shit says that it's made from recycled nylon and includes a Yeezy Gap logo tag. Oh gosh. I don't know how that's gonna really work, but whatever. Ahead of the surprise drop, West teased the jacket's release last week by stepping out in the style in 80 degree 80 degree in LA, although most fans were distracted by his bizarre face covering and Nike Vandal High sneakers. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, oh shit. That shit is tacky. That face cover shit that he got on, that shit is so fucking tacky, man. If you like to take a picture, if you like to take a look at the picture, you can go to page6.com/2021/June 8th Kanye West. This is tacky, man. I'm sorry, but this is the tackiest shit that I ever seen. But anyways, to celebrate the launch, West and Gap have arranged for floating projections of the covered coat to pop up in various locations in New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago. The musician used a similar marketing strategy ahead of his Yeezus album release in 2013. Last month, Business of Fashion reported that Yeezy Gap was on track to debut in June, leading many fans to believe that the full collection was coming soon. The press release announcing the collaboration um last year promised modern, elevated basics for men, women, and kids at accessible price points, and there's no word yet on when more designs will drop. Last July, the Bound 2 rapper shared a sneak peek at a Yeezy Gap fitting, which included a handful of neon bright tie-dye pieces along with a single signature Yeezy neutrals. West's 10-year deal with Gap, reportedly worth close to 1 billion, marks a full circle moment for the star, who worked at one of the retailer's Chicago stores as a teenager. In 2015, the Grammy winner told Vogue, one of the one of my dreams was to be the head creator director of Gap. I like to be the Steve Jobs of the Gap. I'm not talking about a capsule. I'm talking about full creative control of the Gap is what I would like to do. Well, listen, man. I remember a story that according to Forbes, in case nobody didn't know about that, Kanye thought that he was a billionaire, but it turns out he's still a millionaire. Like, come on now. You try to lie your way out of your ass thinking that you a billionaire. Come on, man. Let's let's be fucking serious, man. Like, come on. Oh man. And speaking of serious, we have a lawsuit in regards to Benny Blanco, Halsey Khaled, Ed Sheeran face copyright infringement lawsuit over Eastside. Um, so story goes like this. Benny Blanco, Halsey Khaled, and Ed Sheeran are facing lawsuit for allegedly infringing upon American Exo's "Loveless" track in their 2018 Eastside effort. American Exo member Shane Williams and California-based musician Constantine Lowish, whose work what has appeared in over 91 TV series and 225 different episodes per the complaint, just recently submitted the suit to a California federal court, naming Universal Music Group, Interscope Records, and Blanco's friends keep secrets, besides the above mentioned artists as defendants. The straightforward action notes at the outset that Williams and Lois co-wrote Loveless back in 2015. The track released on American Exo's 2016 album Pacific Coast Bloody Nose. For additional background, Benny Blanco, Halsey Khaled, and Ed Sheeran alike have writing credits on Eastside, with Blanco having also received a producer credit. But according to a 12-page long legal text, those creators borrowed heavily from the instrumental portion of Loveless when bringing Eastside to life, with the result being a substantial similarity between tracks, particularly with regard to the latter's central guitar riff. I'm gonna stop right there. I remember I remember a previous episode we was talking about how there's certain artists that get sued for um your blurred lines, and then you have your Uptown Funk. Look, one piece one piece of advice: if you're going to use an instrumental, you got to have permission first in order for you to use that instrumental. Even if you flip it with different sounds and instrumentals, this is just a lesson of the day for most musicians out there. Not all, most of you out there. Anyway, anyway, both the Loveless riff and the East Side riff compromise of identical two notes dyads of identical notes intervals played over identical beats. Both riffs are played on guitar and require identical finger positions. The lawsuit states after highlighting music terminology in relative detail. Furthermore, the plaintiffs maintain Meatrack's and musical notion. That when transposed to the same key, Loveless was written in E minor, with East Side written in F hashtag minor. The song's respective riffs are musically identical. Interestingly, the Eastside infringement actions plaintiffs, in an effort to advance their argument that the defendants willfully stole from Loveless, also highlight comments that the 33-year-old Benny Blanco made during interviews. This point, along with the much publicized legal debacle that unfolded after Pharrell Williams sat down with Rick Rubin in GQ, could well impact the way that artists make public statements in the future. To be sure, Shane Williams and Lois emphasized in their complaint that the Virginia native Benny Blanco, in a Vibe interview delivered nearly a decade ago, when he was just 24 years old, relayed, end quote, I draw inspiration from everyone. Same thing with Bruno Mars. I listen to every type of music. I try to expose myself to 10, 12 new artists every day. Quote, I'm listening to everything from Beirut to Wiz to Yo Yo Ma to Arcade Fire. I try to spread it around because you never know. There could be something in one of those songs that give me an idea to do something like this or something like that. And in a different 2012 sit down, Blanco indicated that he probably downloads some 100 songs a day. The document specifies. At the time of the piece's publishing, the defendants didn't appear to have publicly addressed the lawsuit. Earlier this month, UMG was named in separate complaints from former Beach Boys guitarist David Marks and Catch and Release creator Matt Simmons, whereas Lizzo in late April scored another major victory in her Truth Hurts copyright infringement battle. Okay. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to use an instrumental, like I said before, you have to ask for permission and clearance. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like Robin Thicke, and you end up like Bruno Mars did with the whole, um, blurred lines and Uptown Funk. So, let me just do this. So anyway, the next topic has to do. I always wanted to talk about this too, actually. So for those of you out there who are thinking about creating shows, I want you to know the difference between radio and podcast. I actually had to ask maybe one or two people about this actually. So in order to get clarification on the differences, this is what this article is going to be. So I'm going to read on right now. So the difference between podcast and radio. Podcasts have been around for over a decade now, but there is still some sort of uneasiness in defining it as a medium. With the proliferation of portable devices, which are often directly connected to the internet. Audiences have moved from the traditional radio stations to the forward thinking podcast, which is what I'm doing. It seems like there are more and more podcasts keep adding up every single day. Whist podcasting shares many production practices with radio. There are some inherent differences between the two medium. Podcasting is relatively a new form of broadcasting in that it facilitates entry into the creative production of audio for individuals and groups with no broadcasting background. The lines between these mediums are blurred, but the lines do exist and we need to understand them. What is a podcast, you ask? A podcast is a blend of broadcast and iPod. Podcasts are a series of digital audio and or video files presented as episodes for users to download in order to listen. The proliferation of portable devices that play audio and video and are often internet supported has led to the development of a new form of media called podcasts. The idea is to produce and share content on specific topics of theme that can be easily downloaded into mobile devices so that people can listen to their favorite podcast on the go. And what is radio? Radio is the art of broadcasting sound programs for the public to listen to by radio waves. It is a blind medium that strikes broadcasters and listeners alike and appeal to a mass audience through transmission of news, music, weather reports, and other interesting programs from single broadcast stations. Today, radio is used in technologies such as cellular phones, GPS, television, radar control, and more. So, the differences between podcast and radio. Radio is a bond medium which strikes everyone, broadcasters and listeners alike. Radio communications are the most popular internet medium till date, and the radio networks have expanded into vast organizations over the years, touching every corner of the world through affiliations with local stations. Radio is the art of broadcasting programs for the public to listen to by radio waves. Podcasts are, in a way, remediated radio content focused on a particular topic or theme and presented as a series of digital audio files for the listeners to download and listen. Schedule. The practice of podcasting is not simply another iteration of radio. Rather, it's a new form of media where the modes of production, presentation, audience engagement, and purpose clearly delineate between the two medium. A major difference between the two is scheduling. You have a preset schedule with radio shows which you have to stick to. There's a fixed schedule to when the stories are told or when there is news time or when it's time for daily weather reports. With podcasts, there is no time constraint, as listeners can download and listen to the content at any time they want. Hold on, folks. All right. Now that I got me a little drinky drink. So, the audience. Another major difference between podcast and radio is the audiences they appeal to. Radio is a medium of mass communication that uses several different types of content to appeal to a mass audience. The content focuses on a variety of topics while keeping the interest of the listeners in mind. Radio attracts a loyal audience and mostly involves the rural population in mainstream media. Podcasts, on the other hand, through its tailored and feature rich content, appeal to a more niche audience. One great advantage of podcasting is that you can actually see how many people have downloaded the podcast content. A major difference between podcasts and radio is content delivery. Podcasts are a series of digital audio files that are mostly pre recorded, meaning anyone with a portable media device can download a podcast and save it on their device and can listen to it anytime and anywhere they want. There are also live podcasts which are presented to be exact, live for the audiences to listen to in real time. Radio shows, on the other hand, are mostly live broadcasts, meaning the content cannot be formatted or edited after it's already on the air. Podcasts can be formatted in sections and can be re-recorded. Shelf life. Radio is more in an instant medium, meaning the second a radio show does go on the air, it's on, and after a while it's gone and disappears into the thin air. Interesting. Once the show is over, you cannot go back and move on to the next one. As a listener, you cannot tune into the same show again after it's already over. This is not the case with podcasts. In fact, podcasts are always there, and anyone can listen to their favorite podcast episodes anytime they want, even if the episodes were old. Podcasts have a long shelf life, and unlike radio shows, they can be listened to months or years later. So, here's the chart of podcast versus radio. Um, so, um, Okay, so podcasts are a series of digital audio files focused on niche topics and presented as episodes online. There's no time constraint as listeners can download and listen to the content anytime. Podcasts appeal to a more niche audience through its tailored and featured rich content. With podcasts, you can actually see how many people have downloaded the podcast. Podcasts have a longer shelf life and can be listened to months or years later. Yeah. So, summary. With podcasting shares many production practice with radio. There are some inherent differences between the two medium. The practice of podcasting is not simply another iteration of radio. Rather, it's a new form of media where the modes of production, presentation, audience engagement, and purpose clearly delineate between the two medium. One major difference between the two medium is that radio shows have a set schedule and there are time constraints. Whereas with podcasts, there is no time constraint and the episodes can be as long as or as short as you want. And there you have it. The differences between radio and podcasts, which is also the name of the episode. Um, so you kind of get the gist of the differences. So, hold on. All right, all right. Now, um, what are the topics that I actually covered? Let's see. Oh yeah, the New York Marathon. I want to touch on that as well. Hang on a minute here. The New York Marathon returns. New York Marathon. Here we go. All right. So let's go here. All right. All right. The so as you may know, there was no New York Marathon last year due to the slamdemic, and it's making its return this year. And here's some info about this. So the 50th running of the TCS New York City Marathon is set for November 7th, 2021. The TCS New York City Marathon is the largest marathon in the world and the signature event of New York Roadrunner, the world premier community running organization. Registration was open from June 8th through June 15th for runners affected by the cancellation of the 2020 event. Registration is open through NYRR Team for Kids, International Tour Operators, ITOs, NYRR partners, and official charity partners. The TCS New York City Marathon. The race is held annually on the first Sunday of November, and this year will include 33,000 runners from the world's top professional athletes to runners of all ages and abilities, including charity runners. Participants toured the diverse neighborhoods of New York City's five boroughs: Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, and Manhattan. More than 1 million spectators and 10,000 volunteers lined the city streets in support of the runners, while millions more watched the globally televised broadcast. The race is founding member of the Abbott World Marathon Majors, which features the world's top marathons: Tokyo, Boston, London, Berlin, Chicago, and New York. Tata Consultancy Services, which is what TCS stands for, a leading global IT services, consulting, and business solutions organization, is the premier partner of NYRR and the title sponsor of the TCS New York City Marathon. To learn more, visit tcsnycmarathon.org. Race number pickup. Race number pickup will take place at the TCS New York City Marathon Expo presented by New Balance. The expo will be held at the Jacob Javits Center, located at 11th Avenue and West 35th Street, in the 3 days leading up to the TCS New York City Marathon. Registered participants will be required to pick up their own race material in person during assigned times at the expo in advance of the race. The layout, timeline, and programming for the 2021 TCS New York City Marathon Expo will adhere to city and state health and safety requirements for social distancing. We will share further updates at a later date. 2021 TCS New York City Marathon course. The Star Village will be located on Staten Island. The course exits Staten Island via the Verrazano Narrow Bridge and takes runners through Brooklyn and then into Queens before entering Manhattan. After a trip up to the Bronx, runners head back down into Manhattan to be exact, and enter Central Park. At the 26.2 miles, runners finish their journey in Central Park. After collecting their medal in their recovery bag, they head through the walk-off area. Virtual TCS New York City Marathon. The virtual TCS New York City Marathon, powered by Strava, will return for the fourth time and will include 4 different ways to sign up when registration opens on June 10th. The race period will be October 23rd to November 7th, and the race is part of New York Roadrunners Volvo Cars virtual racing powered by Strava. So the health and safety concerns. The health and safety of the running community is our top priority, and all event participants and attendees will be required to adhere to specific coronavirus guidelines. We are working with our city, state, and agencies to plan a safe an exciting event, and we recognize that guidelines are likely to change between now and November. We will continue to keep runners updated on the latest health and safety procedures and guidelines. Frequently asked questions. In order to ensure a safe race day, runners traveling to New York are expected to adhere to federal, state, and local health and safety guidelines, including pre-travel testing and quarantine requirements. NYRR's guidelines will include social distancing, elimination of touch points, enhanced health and safety protocols, and testing and tracing. Um, all right. In our fact page, we lay out answers to most important questions on how to register, how the marathon might be different this year, and what you can expect during race week itself. Okay. Okay, there you have it. There you have it. All the information you need to know what's going on with the New York City Marathon, which will be coming back in November, the beginning of November. So there you have it. Now, what's the other topic I wanted to do? Yes. Yes, I wanted to do the update on the bus accident. So let's go there. Speaking of bus accidents, this will be our new segment that I haven't done in a long time called the New York Mass Transit Files. And what that is basically a segment where we get to talk about what's going on behind the scenes of the MTA, New York City Transit, MTA bus, and sometimes Nice Bus. But in this case, it has to do with a recent bus accident that I previously talked about that crashed into a building by Bedford Avenue and Lincoln Road. So I want to actually get to what's going on here. All right. So the Daily News article says, let me just go to this beginning. All right. So MTA officials are looking to identify which of the agency's employees recorded a computer screen as it played an internal video of last week's bus crash that crashed into a Brooklyn brownstone, according to a source with knowledge of the investigation. The video, which on Wednesday was obtained by several news outlets, including the Daily News, shows the 55-year-old driver with several shopping bags at his feet moments before he lost control of the bus. Hours after the video was released, a manager from NYC Transit's bus department sent an email warning people to not leak internal records. This is a very serious, and we should not be passing information into any social media application, states the email, which was obtained by the news. Attached to the email was a 15-page computer and social media usage policy that went into effect in 2015, which notes employees' use of MTA computer networks may be monitored and reviewed, and users should have no expectation of privacy. At least one high-ranking MTA manager was in the room when the video was recorded, a source said. The video shows several people pointing at the screen where the footage is playing, pointing out the driver's mistakes. The manager is not believed to be the person who shared the footage, said a source. JT Patafio, vice president of buses at Transport Workers Union, Local 100 accused MTA managers of leaking the video on purpose. It's in quote, it's like a bunch of kids sitting around a fire talking about some juvenile stuff, said Patafio. The problem with the video being released is that it compromises the investigation of the accident. Everybody and their mother has an opinion on what happened and are making comments about my bus operator. End quote. Um, it took crews until Friday, 4 days after the crash, to remove the bus from the Brooklyn brownstone where it was wedged. City Buildings Department officials said last week that engineers were working to shore up a load bearing wall that the bus knocked out during the crash, and that the building might collapse if the bus were removed. We take due process and the integrity of the security materials very seriously, said MTA spokesman Aaron Donovan. The unauthorized premature release of the video from the Brooklyn bus incident is under review. Um, Hold on. I want to show y'all a picture. If I can't do it on the laptop, I'll try to see if I could do it on. If I could do it, let me see. No, I don't think I could do that. But you know what though? You know what though? I can show you the picture from my tablet actually. As a matter of fact, let me just do that. So this is the picture. I want to actually try to show this. You may not be able to see it. Can you see it? All right, so this is a picture of the front of the bus being damaged. What you see here is the windshield and bus sign gone, including the bottom front of the bus. Like there's a missing piece of it. So this is basically MTA bus number 7647. And the rest of the bus is fine. It's just the front of it is completely damaged from the building when they tried to take it out. So there you have it. Um, so there you have it. The crackdown on the video leak is the latest effort by MTA leaders to prevent the agency's workforce of nearly 70,000 people from providing information to the press. The agency's information technology department has, over the past 2 years, restricted the number of workers who can access internal subway incidents reports that detail delays, according to MTA employees who used to have access to the subway reporting system. Transit workers are also regularly instructed by their bosses to avoid contact with news reporters. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting theory. Um. Now I did hear. Now I did hear that 16 people were hurt during the bus accident. So so yeah, it is pretty scary though. So let me just do this. And I want to actually say um so the driver with the bags, I don't know why he put the bags there in between where the pedals of the brake and the gas. I'm not sure, but all I know is one question. And this is just crazy to me, man. I'm really starting to feel like, yo, I don't know. I can't say this bus accident is worse than I can't say this is worse than the subway crimes and stuff, but um I gotta say, man, this is gonna be a long investigation. So I really hope they get to the bottom of this because people are gonna want some answers, and I really hope that the 16 people that are that got hurt, I'm really hoping and praying that they are going to be all right. So, so with that being said, I would like to go to another segment. Um, I'd like to go to another segment right here, which is called TV show checkouts. That's right. TV show checkouts is just another segment about some TV shows that that is suggested, not necessarily recommended, but for you to check out some interesting shows that's going on right now. So here we go. The first TV show checkout has to do with Lego Masters. Okay. So, if I can figure out okay. So the synopsis goes like this. Hosted by actor and producer Will Arnett, who played the Lego Batman, by the way. Hold on a second here. I don't know why this is like. Hold on a minute. I don't know why this is popping up. Hang on. Okay. So, yeah, as I was saying, Will Arnett, who previously played a Lego Batman, um, based on the British reality competition series of the same name. Oh boy, God, why does this keep coming up? Why does this keep coming up, man? Um, okay. Sorry about that. Gotta pop up. All right. So, based on the British reality competition series of the same name, Lego Masters brings imagination, design, and creativity to life with an unlimited supply of Lego bricks. Faced with ambitious brick building challenges, teams of two Lego enthusiasts compete to be crowned the country's most talented amateur Lego builders. In each episode, Arnett, alongside expert judges and special guests, will encourage the builders, introduce the incredible challenges, and put their creations to the test. The compete the competing pairs of who impressed the judges the most will face off for a cash prize, the ultimate Lego trophy, and the grand title of Lego Masters. Our next one is a new series called Housebroken. And Housebroken, according to the synopsis, hang on. So, according to, let me see. All right. So, Housebroken is an animated series following a group of neighborhood pets and stray animals as they work through their issues inside and outside their therapy group. Honey, a standard poodle, opens her living room for the group to come and support each other through the misery, mayhem, and majesty that is being a pet. Honey also struggles with her own problems, such as her arranged by human marriage with Chief, to be exact. A sloppy Saint Bernard who enjoys eating socks and licking himself. Okay. The group includes Shell, a sex positive tortoise with intimacy. Wow. Intimacy issues. Oh man. Wait. Wait, am I reading this right? Intimacy issues? Let me read this again. The group includes Shell, a sex positive tortoise with intimacy issues and a knack for choosing unconventional partners. Tabitha, an aging per- Persian cat. Beauty queen, trying to adjust to life off the cat show circuit. The gray one, a street cat who lives with about 30 other cats and has his one eye on Tabitha. Chico, a chunky, codependent, and very naive cat, and the group's newest member, Diablo, an anxious, sweater wearing terrier who has an observer compulsive disorder. And that's your TV show checkouts. Now, another one I want to do has to do with podcast juice of the week. Now, podcast juice of the week, for those of you who may not know what that is basically a segment where we go through the Spotify catalog and we go to the interesting podcast shows that's on wax right now. So, without further ado, I am going to go through the Spotify catalog library and pick out some podcast shows so you guys could check it out. So, once this loads, um once this loads up, hold on. Okay. Okay, let's go to all right. We're gonna go to Fresh and Fit podcast. So the synopsis goes like this. We help men become better in dating, game, fitness, social media, and finances. Um, so a recent episode of the Fresh and Fit podcast, I actually was listening to them on Twitch TV, which you could also find them there too. So they was talking about cryptocurrency. Now it's kind of hard for me to actually get a better understanding behind it. So hopefully, I don't know how I'm going to be able to remember all this stuff, but at the same token, if you listen to one of the episodes, I guarantee if it's going to be very interesting for you to learn about cryptocurrency. Um, so the next podcast pick of the week, which I will go to, is Friend Zone. Okay. So synopsis goes like this. Friend Zone, listening along every Wednesday as Dustin Ross, Fran, and Asante explore mental health and mental hygiene, because who in the hell wants a musty brain? Yeah, it is pretty obvious though. I do come across, certain homeless person. Um what it happened to me when I was on the bus going to the crib. And it was some Jamaican guy. I don't know exactly, but he was so musty. It looked like he didn't even take a shower anyway, man. So it was like it was a nightmare though. It was a nightmare from hell. I had to smell that though during the bus ride home. Oh man. Oh man. That I'm not gonna forget that one, man. Oh man. So I'm gonna pick out maybe one more podcast for you guys to check out. So the next podcast pick of the week is um we're gonna go with we're gonna go with we are going to go with um We're gonna go with Listen Honey. Okay. So synopsis goes like this for Listen Honey. The synopsis goes like this. Listen, fam, Jeannie Mai, um, from the real Hello Honey is out to discover what makes the world tick. She sits down to interview everyone from sex therapists to divorce lawyers, morticians to crime scene investigators, and so much more to understand the journeys of the heart of the human being behind the career. No topic is too taboo, no subject is risque. Jeannie wants to get to the truth in every person's story. So listen, honey, we want to make the podcast even better. Help us learn how through her link right there. So there you have it. There you have it. Um so um I think that's gonna do for this episode right here. I'm actually going to go over the streaming platforms on the go, but first I'm going to go to where you can donate some money. Now, if you like what you heard in today's episode 43, all you gotta do is show some love by the PayPal, which is paypal.me/gmoneystacks, Queens, New York. Another way you could donate is through my Cash App, which is $G Money Stacks 555. That's $GMONEYSTACKZ 555. Now, not asking you to break the bank. Just asking for you to do your best of what you can afford. You can donate any amount of money you want. Any amount will be appreciated. So basically, you can follow the podcast on Facebook and Instagram, all in one word with the same name, Off the Meatrack Chainz NY Podcast, alongside with my primary handle, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Now, I am open to DMs for, thoughts on what you think about the episodes, the topics that was discussed, and also if you're gonna DM somebody, don't put no spams, okay? No spams in the DMs. And also another thing, before I even go to the stream platforms, I did discuss about the annoying scammers in episode 30. In case you guys didn't know, I was very upset with the so-called janky promoters on social media who tried to basically, you know, be on some shit about promoting my podcast onto onto their so-called label, which I never even heard of before. And it infuriates me because I feel like there's a scam going on. Now, when you take a look at their page and you don't see their phone numbers and email address and stuff like that, don't do it because you don't want to be ripped off out of your hard-earned money. And I'm stressing this because it's been happening to me whenever I post something on the podcast page or my primary page, and the same people and different organizations, janky promoters want me to promote their shit on there. No, I'm not gonna do that because I never fucking heard of you. You know what I'm saying? And as a lesson, if you see a janky promoter that you never heard of and they have no email address, no fucking phone number as a contact, don't waste your fucking money. Because at the end of the day, You worked hard for your money. You don't have to waste it on janky promoters that you never heard of before. And I'm gonna put a button on that one right there too. So, um, I'll give myself an applause for this one. All right. Okay. Now to the streaming platforms on the go. Now, you can listen to Off the Meatrack Chainz New York podcast episodes on Podorama. You got Anchor, Spotify, Audio Burst, Deezer, TuneIn, plus Alexa, Player FM, Podchaser. By the way, if you click on the link in the link tree of where it says linktree / G Money Stacks 555, you're gonna see Podchaser on there. You click on there and you go to the page where it has the podcast page on there. You leave a 5-star rating review, and you tell me what you think about the topics and everything. That way, you're just showing support and showing some love. There you go. We are on Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Podcast Addict, Breaker, Listen Notes, Google Podcasts. And don't forget, Off the Meatrack Chainz New York podcast episodes is going to be uploaded to Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and last but not least, the YouTube. Every listener out there, current listeners, and including the new ones, I need y'all to do your part. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel, G Money Stats 555. Be sure to enable alerts so you can be reminded of when the show goes on the air live. More video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes. Be sure to leave a like, comment on the episodes, including the topics that was being discussed. And also, don't forget to download your favorite episodes. And also, don't forget to catch up on the previous episodes that you missed. In case you missed it, I got you. All the episodes are going to be automatically posted after the recording each week. And also, don't forget to share the podcast along with the audio streaming platforms that I just discussed with your friends, and tell your friends, spread the word so we could get the subscribers going and we could get more views going. So with that being said, I would like to say something before I even go. And like I always say, if you have a dream of being a podcaster, and if you want to create a podcast like myself that I'm doing right now, all you got to do is the main thing. Don't let these clown burgers and clown chips stop you from doing what you got to do. Whatever career field that you're in, I am here to empower you with inspiration and motivation so you you could chase your dreams on what makes you happy. It took me months for me to find something that makes me happy, like podcasting. Why? Because I feel like podcasting is very therapeutic. It's very therapeutic to me. And yes, I do get some laughs from time to time. And sometimes, you know, I gotta be real sometimes when it comes to me going through things. Yes, we're human beings. Everything's not gonna be sunshines and rainbows, but at the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself this question: are you making decisions because you're doing the right thing for the people, your parents, or are you doing it for you? Because if you're doing it for you, that's what's going to make you happy. Not your parents and not other people. Period. So, I'd like to say thank you to every single listener that's new, including the current listeners out there. Be sure to comment in the YouTube section of what you thought about the episodes in full sentences, especially on the podcast page as well, which I will try to see if I could actually post some questions, which I didn't get a chance to do that. I will try to do that after I come from work tomorrow. So on that note, thank you very much for rocking with me. Even though you know there's no co-host with me because they have a busy schedule and they have busy lives and everything. So I didn't want to be a burden to them. So I'm gonna end it off right here. So I'm G Money Stacks, and I'd like to say thank you for tuning in, rocking with me, and also for listening and watching. One love. Peace out.